We are here to tell you about a relatively new company called Socrait. Rhymes with so great. And the way I'm going to tell you this about our company is to teach a class for you. So before I start, I'm going to grab the app and press the button at the bottom, which starts the streaming session for the class. When I'm done teaching the class, you'll see the results from what I've done. So I'm just going to press that, turn my phone so the microphone is up, tuck that away behind all these cords here. Okay? All right, let's see. There's supposed to be 20 of you here, so let me do a quick count. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. We're missing 2. Can any of you guys tell me which students are gone today? Oh, you're right, Mark's gone, and who else is gone today? Karen's gone. All right, Mark and Karen are absent today. Today in entrepreneurship, I want to talk about how an entrepreneur finds the problem that they're going to solve in their business. So can any of you tell me how you think an entrepreneur finds the problem in their business? David, yes. Oh, okay, yeah. So you look at the world around you and you try to find you try to notice something that nobody else has, a problem that's difficult that you want to solve. Okay, good answer. Good answer, David. Can anyone tell me what you do once you find the problem to solve? Emily? Yes. Okay, good, yeah. So once you find the problem to solve, you have to think of a solution, and it should be a solution that's unique and valuable to the customers, hopefully something innovative that nobody's thought of before. So good. All right, so an entrepreneur needs to identify a painful solution and come up with a unique and innovative, or painful problem and come up with a unique and innovative solution. Let me illustrate the way this works by telling you the story of the company that we're building right now called Socrait. Nathan, can you please stop talking over me? Thank you. It was the fall of 2024, and I was teaching calculus and entrepreneurship for the high school students, and I was teaching technology and society for the middle school students. And unfortunately, I had started the school year with walking pneumonia. I don't recommend this as something that any of you try. Nathan, can you go back to your seat, please? Yeah, I don't even know why you're out of your seat. Go back. Okay, thank you. And Susan, you're talking too now. You don't need to yell across the room to Nathan. Okay, thanks. All right, so by October, I was feeling really run down, and I would kind of get a little bit start to feel myself, and then something would knock me back. And the final straw was having 2 new students added to my middle school class. It was one of those classes where you finally kind of have them tamed, and they're finally behaving, and then you get a couple new ones, and the whole thing goes crazy again. And so at that point, I started to really feel the same kinds of feelings we describe as teacher burnout. And so, Nathan, can you go back to your seat? Why are you out of your seat? Thank you. Okay. And so I started to feel teacher burnout. Yes, Eli? Yeah, I think teachers should get paid more too. Thanks for that, bud. Okay. Now, I've taught on and off for 30 years. I've taught healthy, I've taught sick, and I'd never felt anything like this before. I started to feel like I might just walk out the door to school one day and just not come back the next day. And I think lots of us have felt this, and we know that thousands of teachers around the country feel this every year and then act on it. They leave a profession that they loved and they went to school for and they did for many years, and then they walk away from it. And so, yes, Emily? Yeah, the assignment you missed last week is due next Wednesday. Yeah, it's in Canvas. Everything's in Canvas. The due date's in Canvas. Okay. So I recognized that what I was experiencing was actually an opportunity. I'm a prior entrepreneur, and I thought, well, this is interesting. Why do I feel this way every day suddenly? Like, what is it about this year and this semester that's really making me feel this? And so I started paying attention to all of the clues around me. And Nathan, can you please close your iPad? I can see that you're playing games on your iPad. Nathan, stop playing games on your iPad. Okay. And Liam, you're actually doing a great job of focusing while sitting next to some pretty distracting things. Nice job. After weeks of paying attention, I realized that my brain was just exhausted at the end of every teaching day. It's actually exhausted at the end of one period of teaching. When you're a teacher, you're being interrupted almost constantly in the classroom. Yes, Emily? You still can't find the assignment? Carter, would you help Emily find that assignment on her iPad? Thanks. Okay. And Carter, thanks for picking up that trash too. As teachers, we track attendance, we track tardies, we track pullouts. We have to remember what to do for all of those students. We pay attention to which students need to have something in a different language and which students need to have something modified for an IEP. As secondary teachers, we have to remember 200 names a day and match those names to faces in the classroom, which is just by itself an exhausting amount of data. But on top of that, we're reprimanding students for behavior, trying to keep track of how many warnings every one of those kids is had. And Nathan, David, why are you sparring in the middle of class? Like, can you please stop? Sit back down. This is not a karate class. Thank you. So we're trying to keep track of the warnings as we do it so that there can be appropriate consequences when needed. But we also are well aware that we should have 5 times more praises than warnings. So guess what? We're also trying to keep track of the number of times we've praised our students in class and which ones we've praised and have we done it equitably. Carter, by the way, thanks for helping Emily with that iPad. Okay. We remember who we called on in class. We remember who we didn't call on in class. We try to make sure to call on the students that didn't get called on in class. Is anyone getting tired yet? On top of all of this, we actually have to teach the class. We have to hit the standards, the objectives, make sure the students are engaged, that they're on a solid learning path. We know from learning research that to remember what you learn, you actually have to engage with it 3 times. So in addition to what I'm teaching today, I should be teaching what I taught yesterday and the day before and the day before. Oh, by the way, 3 of your classes have got off sync from each other. So remembering that period 2 is doing something different than period 4. Nathan, why are you out of your seat? Again, how many times have I warned you today? Nathan, it's not 2, it's more than 2. I swear it's more than 2. Get back to your seat. Thank you. And if you teach middle schoolers, you're constantly answering questions in addition to asking questions and trying to teach. And usually the questions that you are answering are the questions you've already answered 3 times, right? And so, yes, Todd? Yeah. The assignment for Wednesday? Yeah, it's in Canvas. You can look it up there. Okay. Yeah.
3 minutes.
Okay. So this is when I realized that the cognitive load on teachers is what's causing our exhaustion. What we do in a classroom every day is actually kind of nuts. And we do it for first period, for second period, for third period, for fourth period. We do it during lunch all day long. And so I think that teacher burnout is actually a combination of the cognitive exhaustion you experience in the classroom combined with the fact that at the end of the day, you can't do the actions you're supposed to because you can't even remember what happened during the day. So that parent email you wanted to write, you can't remember anymore what the kid in second period did. And the follow-up you need to do for special ed, you don't remember how many times that kid had a disruption in class. So I paid attention to what was going on and I realized that all of that data that teachers say out loud during the day is data that could inform AI to do some of their work for them after class. Everything we do, we say out loud. And if we started to just process that data and use intelligent workers to create follow-ups for teachers, we could short circuit the cognitive exhaustion and the lack of ability to do things after class because you're too tired and you don't remember your day. And so I called my friend Jason here and I said, I have this idea. I think we could listen to teachers and help them to efficiently do a lot of their work and be less exhausted during the day. I told him what we would do. And I said, this is either the worst idea I've ever had or the best idea I've ever had. Jason has a long experience in ed tech, so he decided it was best. So, and agreed to come on board as a co-founder for the company. So what I'd like to do now is show you what happens when we turn off the stream for the day. So if I go back to the app and turn it off, we would see something. So this is before and this is after. So all of those things I said out loud get counted. The warnings, the praises, eventually the class participation. And we give you the absences, the tardies. If a student comes into class late and you greet them, we know they're there. You don't have to put it into a separate system. And the real kicker here is that I don't want to just give you more data to look at, because you got plenty of data to look at.
Got 1 minute.
I want to give you also actions to take. So Nathan here, you heard me warn him. He's actually my favorite nephew, by the way. You heard me. Now all the other nephews are going to know that. I just realized. We can draft an email about Nathan's behavior because we're pulling the context around those warnings. We can also, if we had a student who was praised a lot, we can pull all of the context around the praises and help you communicate that with whatever stakeholders need to see it. So we want to turn teachers, the talk that teachers say into actions that they can do after class. And I just want to give you 10 seconds on how this works. There's no recording. We stream the teacher's voice, collect the data from it in real time, and store just the data. So, you know, when Nathan gets a warning, it's like, Nathan, warning, get off your iPad, right? That's the data we're pulling, right? And so we're just doing the same thing if a teacher had the time to tally up everything that happened in class while they taught. We're tallying that data for them and then giving them actions. This is just the tip of the iceberg with what we can do with the data that's in the teacher's voice. And so we hope that many of you will come on this journey with us to see whether we can make teaching a more pleasant job for teachers, have better communication with parents and stakeholders at school, and all of the possibilities that are ahead of us. Thanks.
Thank you.